Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tome Knowledge, where we have tomes full of knowledge, and we scoop them up and pour them over our heads.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that GIF that you posted.
It's so good. So good.
We're talking about there's a GIF of a little kid who has a book open, and like tries to like scoop up imaginary knowledge out of the book and just like pours it over his head, then turns the page.
How about perception and the force of sheer will?
I wish that's how we could learn.
Could you
Pour it out in
imagine?
the noggin.
One day, just like grab a book or parchment and just like rub it on your head, and you're like, I absorb this knowledge.
And I just want to like jack in, just plug in
Yeah.
and just download all of it.
Just a shard in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
I know Dungeons and Dragons.
Amazing. Hope you all are having a fantastic Monday evening, or whatever day it is if you're in the future listening to this after the fact.
Let's
top-
say
go
good
ahead.
morning.
More evening. It could be
Cover
good morning.
noon, and evening.
Good morning for me because I woke up right before stream. Yeah. One says you want to learn while you sleep. I don't want to have to sleep. How about that? Wouldn't that be great?
Astral project while your physical body sleeps, your spiritual body can keep on doing things.
I mean, to be honest, like I don't know
Like
if
a
I'd be that
limitless
much more.
type of thing.
I don't know if I'd be that much more productive if I didn't have to sleep. I just do more of the nothing that I already do in my downtime. Speaking
More time
of
for
downtime,
games.
that's true. That's true. Like I could zone out for 5 hours instead of 3 after work. Speaking of downtime, that's what we're talking about today. Our downtime in your D&D games with your D&D party and your D&D friends, which I think is an interesting topic for us to talk about because we really don't utilize it in our campaigns too much.
I agree. I don't know if it's because we're a show or just like it's just something people just forget about. Just like
Mhm.
it's just gone. Like they just don't think about it at all.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, I want to get to the bottom of this. Why do you hate downtime? Players, why do you hate downtime?
It's a very leading question, Max. Hey, I don't hate downtime. I just forget.
Yeah, I feel like part of it's probably because it is a streamed live show that
Mhm.
we're thinking about. Okay, like let's keep rolling with the story. Like, what's the next thing to do?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that is true. And I feel like I wonder because I don't feel like in this campaign there's as much sense of urgency that there was in the previous campaign at certain times. I feel like y'all have had a lot of like latitude and time to kind of just like feel out what you wanted to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel story wise, I feel like we're just like running on fumes, like our characters, because it's just like one was already hooked to another. But I forget because we're on a ship and
Yeah.
ship travel takes, a couple of days to a week, depending on
Mhm.
where we're going. And that's a ton of downtime. And I'm pretty sure last time we had like a week's time of ship travel that we didn't utilize downtime at all.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's like a more limited version of downtime since there's only certain things you can do on a ship in downtime versus like
Mhm.
if you're in a town or something, you know?
Agreed.
Like,
I was looking at the without any like campaign 2 spoilers. I was looking at like the calendar that I have for in game. I think that in 33 episodes, it's been 2 months in game time, I think. If I remember correctly, what month y'all started.
Yeah.
Because you have to look at like some things like if in your downtime you wanted to like build a tavern, right? Like how long would that take? Well, good news for you is that if you read the books, it's in there. It'll tell you exactly how long it takes. I just
You're
need to find
saying
it.
we can build a party ship. Is what you're saying? Tavern on floats.
Hey, we have the freedom to change our career paths.
Yeah.
We
Party
could,
cruise.
yeah, just make a party cruise and lease it out.
Yeah.
Hayden
Host
can
host a
pickpocket
bunch
and,
of
and
rich
steal a bunch of
a-holes, you
monies.
know?
Actually, that's a good plan. We're gonna retire as pirates and become hospitality service ship.
Sure. This is a throwback to our last our top 5 episode, but Kvothe did exactly that. Retired and built a tavern.
We'll have to have Cooter figure out a way to make a transparent bottom to the ship for like a dolphin cruises.
Oh dang.
Hey man, glass is expensive. Like spyglass, 1,000 gold pieces. Like I don't know, that's pretty expensive. Might need a forge cleric for that.
I
Price
think we could
gouging is
just
what it is.
use wall of force, and that's our glass right there. Unbreakable. Nothing's getting through
Hey.
that.
I don't know how long that lasts.
Oh,
To
that's
be
a good.
honest,
Is
I'm
there
tr-
such thing as permanency spell in 5th edition?
I mean, I don't think that there is in 5th edition, but there is in your imagination, which is
I
more
mean,
important.
well, there you go.
I mean, there's a such thing as like a permanency spell in my world, because there's stuff that I have taken that are kind of lifted from a spell that are just forever. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Different topic.
Different topic, that's for sure. We're talking about downtime. I'm trying to find that stupid list.
All right. Well, while
And
you're
the
finding that
books.
list,
Yeah.
let me run through some. This is what the books have, like the PHB, the DMG, the XGTE, where if your party has downtime, like they're in a town or ship or whatever, and they have some times for themselves. Finally, they're not adventuring. There's no urgency to go on a quest, and your adventurers can just kick back and relax, or they can practice profession, which is in the player's handbook. So if you want to like, if you're a practitioner of, let's say you're a blacksmith, you can rent out a spot at a blacksmith, unless you own a blacksmith, which is I think kind of hard to do if you're an adventurer. And just make a couple days wages of a little blacksmithing. And this is something we could have done last campaign 1 is build a stronghold, which I think I really wish we did, but maybe now is different because now we have a floating stronghold that goes wherever you want.
Yeah.
You can, well, I guess in Max's campaign, you can Xanathar's you can buy a magic item, but in this case, we had to find a contact who then thus find magical items. You
That's
can
straight out of
carouse.
Xanathar's, by the way. That's not just a
Well,
me
there you
thing.
Well, boom. You could spend you could spend 1 week and 100 GP to find a seller. But spending more time and money can yield better results. And then there's carousing, which is apparently the DMG has carousing, and then Xanathar has a new definition of carousing.
Yeah. Let's delineate that before we go too deeper. So both the player's handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Xanathar's Guide to Everything have specific sections about downtime activities. The player's handbook just has like a little smidgen of it, where you'd mention like crafting, practicing, profession, recuperating, just like resting, researching, like training. And training is like a new language or with a set of tools. The Dungeon Master's Guide goes into it a little deeper. For other options, it talks about building a stronghold or like carousing, like you mentioned, crafting magic items, like gaining renown, performing like rites, running a business is in there as well as like selling magic items, sowing rumors. It also has a section that's like training to to gain levels. I don't know about that.
Training to gain levels? Like, so
Um,
you're getting like little bits of XP?
yeah, which would, I mean, yeah, it seems silly. Um, but sure. And then it has like a little thing about how to create them for yourself. But the big thing, what you kind of stepped into, was Xanathars, and Xanathars had a big revamp of like downtime activities. So if like you're looking for stuff like the players can do in between their adventures, like look in Xanathars, because they improved on pretty much everything that existed in the prior books and added cool features like introducing rivals during downtime activities that can cause like complications and stuff for your players. You know, they might succeed at, you know, trying to find a magic item to purchase, but they maybe run across a rival who wants to purchase the same item, or maybe they run across the rival who like is going to sell it but is trying to scam them, kind of thing. All kinds of interesting stuff in there. But I did find that list, like building a stronghold. And this is where scale in D&D is weird. Because with y'all, it's like, okay, campaign, go 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 go. It's been like 2 months in game, right?
Yeah.
Let me find the cheapest stronghold that takes the least amount of days. And that is going to be, it looks like a trading post or a guild hall in a town or a city. They both cost 5,000 gold pieces, and they take 60 days to construct. So pretty much the entire amount of time you've been playing in campaign 2.
Wow.
Which feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
It does.
The longest one with the most expensive would be a palace or a large castle, which is 500,000 gold pieces and takes 1,200 days. Now, I don't know if I would expect like players to have that kind of downtime and like have it be finished by the time the campaign ends. But there's other like things at play that they could find, like
1,200 days?
Yeah, 1,200.
That's that's a little more than 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But like what
That's
Zeus
a
is saying,
lot.
it depends heavily on the style of campaign that you're doing as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
either there's be major time skips, or there's like an active campaign that's been there, which has, but campaigns have done go on for 3 years.
yeah.
But
I mean, just look at
dang.
Lord of the Rings, man. Like they spent like several months hanging out with the elves.
Oh yeah. All right, Elf Pirate Island. We're gonna be hanging out for months, and we're gonna be partying.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that the island that you're on now, that you all invested some gold and made your own shop and hired people to run it and had like a little passive income, you know. Um, but I will say that this time the pace of the campaign is entirely y'all's fault. Because I've been trying not to be as overbearing. So if y'all want to go, it's totally fine. But every campaign's different.
I mean, Hayden got petrified. Azra kind of reverted to his
Well,
sickly ways. You know, a
well,
lot
yeah. I
of
mean,
chaos.
yeah. Stuff happened. That's for sure. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that is on us as a party to kind of take a step back from adventuring. Like we don't always have to go out and get into trouble. We can just relax and hone our skills. Or was it
Or
Ron did pit fighting in campaign 1, which
yeah,
was crazy. We made an alter ego just to pit fight.
yeah.
I'd say we're getting a little taste of it right now with current events in our campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely downtime.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like downtime doesn't have to take forever, right? It can just be a couple rolls and time passes and you call it good, because that's exactly what happened in campaign 1 with the pit fighting and stuff like that. I was like, y'all got a week. I'm like, well, let's pick a thing and
Mhm.
then do it, and that's pretty much how it was. Or I mean, you could go the route of like Pathfinder in like the Kingmaker campaign, where they have a very elaborate like city like building like type system that you can do if you want to do that. Or hell, even like the 1D&D little snippet they released about like the stronghold stuff. That could be in depth if you really wanted to go that route. So I don't know, like what as players, like what do you want out of downtime? Like if you're gonna do like downtime, if you decide as a group, like, okay, let's do some downtime, like what do you want out of it? Is it just like a skip time? Like how do y'all feel about that in general?
I feel like downtime is is personal time for your
Mm-hmm.
character. So whether they just want to like fuck off and just chill and get drunk, or like I think
Mm-hmm.
this it's the time for personal growth and personal investment, because normally when the whole crew's together, right? Um, you're out adventuring, you're questing, you're doing something, but like this now's
Mm-hmm.
the time is to look inward and figure out what you want as a character and what you want to what your personal goals are, rather than like the group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some personal growth would be cool, like a little, I don't know, not just like monetary, not just like extra money or whatever, but like so like maybe you build a relationship with the NPC, or you
Mm-hmm.
talk to someone and now you have like a personal side quest, or your group can partake if they want to or not, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like when we're playing and stuff, I'm never thinking about downtime. Um, so like my current character, for example, if I had to figure out what I want from downtime with that character, I don't know, really, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because where we're at in the story, and then like the type of character he is, I just haven't decided what that would look like.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it could be, you know, a bit of like going out and carousing, maybe with the rest of the crew of the ship, or with locals on whatever
Mm-hmm.
spot of sand that we happen to be on. Um,
Yeah.
I guess maybe opportunities for some small but interesting like side story stuff that maybe like
Yeah.
just some fun one-on-one stuff with the DM that's obviously not going to last the entire session, but just like, hey, Hayden wants to go out and do this, and he's looking for a specific type of person, and then maybe gets into like a tavern brawl, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, ends up getting really drunk with some random person. They end up sneaking into some lord's manor or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just whatever silly thing you think somebody who's a sailor or pirate might do.
Yeah.
Bun
And I,
said she caroused and accidentally started a revolution. That sounds awesome to me.
yeah. I like kind of the direction that you both are going is like an opportunity for like both like your character's growth and like a nice way to introduce little side story stuff. Also, like a nice way to introduce like backstory stuff that maybe you don't that's not going to come out naturally when you're questing and like fighting for your life, but like
Mhm.
maybe in some downtime, let's say it's like a month or something like that, maybe your character like goes home. Like what does that look like? Maybe your family owns like a farm or like a flower shop or what have you, right?
Or a
Or like,
mercantile conglomerate.
Yeah.
with like a really big house.
Yeah. I mean that'd never work because all y'all are so shady in campaign too. Like nobody wants to just disclose
Yeah,
anything.
that's true. That's true.
Y'all are all too
Like I,
shady.
I feel like maybe we as players, but also as actors or cast members, feel like maybe the audience doesn't want to see that kind of stuff, and we don't really. Maybe that's just us telling us that, but we don't
It
really know
is.
what our viewers, listeners, and community really wants. Like, is that something you're all interested in? Just like you want to see the little side snippets and the little downtime side quests where like each night, like not I'll have it all the time, but like where we would have one-on-one time with Max, the DM, to go over like a little tiny sub snippet of a sub story. I don't know.
Mhm.
Let us know in chat, comments, social media, Discord. Like really interested on what you all as
Mhm.
viewers and listeners would like to see.
I I would say the most direct feedback I've gotten since we started these campaigns is more backstory. I want to know more about the characters. I want to know more about what makes them tick and stuff like that. And that could be a great tool, throwing in some downtime and seeing what happens. And, and I just had an idea, like, because kind of how we have been approaching it in our games is just like it just comes up. Oh, you have some time. Like, what do you do with it? And that, I think that could maybe be difficult for to like put players in the spot because maybe I know that I might have this mindset as a player. Like maybe I don't want to do my thing that might take 2 months um because I don't want to hold everybody else up. But maybe it should be like maybe it's a scheduled thing. It's just like, hey, after this mission, you're gonna have downtime. What do you want to do with it? Like, how do you all feel about something like that?
I like that. I think it'd be very interesting to try and see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's definitely like that little bit of that hesitation that since there is like 5 players
Mm-hmm.
and each of us has our own backstories. It's I know personally I'm a little hesitant to like maybe push for a moment where like the focus is entirely on Hayden for
Mm-hmm.
however long.
Please do. I feel like
I
But that's
I
think
just me
feel
as a person though. That's like
yeah.
yeah.
because I'm there to play and share time with everybody. We only play once a week, so
I've because I've and this is just a me thing. Because like every at the end of every session we do roses and thorns, and
Mm-hmm.
I would say 80% of the time, like, I'm sorry I took up most of the scene time, guys, and because I feel like it's because I'm the captain, I have to speak the most, but like I always say that, and then everyone's in chat is like, "No, no, you're great, you're fine, keep doing it." And I'm like, "No, you." I was like, "I want you guys to do stuff." So it's like always this
Mm-hmm.
personal battle myself. So yeah, if Hayden wants to push an agenda for Hayden, then by all means.
Yeah. I am coming up with ideas just in my brain and just talking through this stuff, which is great. I will say an excellent use of like downtime activity, like fun time stuff. And I'll shout out our buddy Zeus, um, in here, by the way, is that
Yes, yes.
we had a campaign that we did that was in a very very cold place, and I don't remember the exact amount of times. It was just like, hey, the next like X amount of months, like you can't go anywhere because it's winter and it's snowed in and it sucks and you'll die. Like you have this amount of time, like what are you going to do with it? And there were some activities that were planned in the middle of it and stuff, like festival and stuff like that, but I think that was a really great, yeah, 7 months of winter. It was just like, hey, you're in here, you got this amount of time, like what, like do with it whatever your character wants to do. Do you want to build relationships? Do you want to build stuff? Do you like, you want to like research things, like all that stuff? Totally viable. And I think it was cool because it was, you basically forced into like, you got downtime, you can do with it whatever you want, but it's there. And I just had a great idea. I just talked myself into a great idea, guys. um and it's thanks to Zeus, and it's thanks to the TV show Black Sails, because it
Mm.
came into my mind of what does a ship need every now and again, right?
So Drago's dream is coming into fruition because Drago wants our ship to sink. So now we have to get our ship repaired, and that could be a couple months, right? So you're welcome, Drago. What do our ship need? Besides an on-ship tavern?
There's something that ships in like the sailing age used to do. It's called careening a ship, where they basically put it on a beach and put it on land, and they basically have to go like they roll it and rotate it
Yeah.
on land to like
Little
get all of like the stuff off of it, right?
all the
For like
barnacles and
maintenance.
junk.
You basically
Mhm.
beaching it for a while. And
Uh, do they? How often do ships need to do that? I feel like maybe once a year, probably.
probably Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense because I mean they're made of wood. You don't want them to go to shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like, what I'm curious is how long that takes. I don't remember. I have to do more research or just make something up on the spot, which is, I
I
mean,
think if you make it up, that's fine.
yeah, yeah, but that could be another time of like, um, forcing downtime on your players. Do you need some time as a DM to catch up to ship? Force
I
downtime on your
I feel like
players.
in that instance, that would be a good time to like for the cast to bond with our ragtag crew of NPCs of
Sure.
like I think what's it? Um Mark God, I don't know why the butcher, right? He seems like a very interesting character that
No
normally
spoilers.
would not get a lot of Magnar, I believe, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um would not get enough screen time, but people seem to like Magnar already just from like the little bits you do when he's like interacting with Barry, our superstitious cast or not cast, a crew member.
Yeah.
That might be a good way to interact with NPCs and like for NPCs to develop some kind of story.
And from what I'm my quick research on careening is it's basically it's cleaning and repairing the hull um before like ships hulls were protected from like all the marine growth that's on them because they used to put copper sheets all over them, but it was before that happened.
Hmm.
Because it seriously affects the sailing qualities of the ship. It causes drag. All the like the gunk that like grows on there, like the barnacles and stuff, creates
Mm-hmm.
drag and slows your ship down, which would be interesting. So I still can't look. If anybody has any idea, if there's anybody from the Age of Sail in chat, let me know how long it takes to careen a ship. I'd love to know.
There's literature somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is, but that could be. And they were saying like pirates typically didn't have use of like going into a dry dock. It's too dangerous for them, so they'd have to just go to the beach and do it themselves.
Which I've been to get better into character as Azric, I've been listening to pirate, the Golden Age of Pirates podcast. So yeah, they
Oh.
mentioned that they would find a ship in low shallow waters and then breach the ship on the beach and clean it up, clean as you say.
Mm-hmm.
Um they never usually they're there for I want to say a week
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah, that seems about right. So there's a quick week for you.
I should do something similar. My prep to get into Hayden is before stream watch 5 to 10 minutes of Assassin's Creed 4 cutscenes.
Amazing.
Hayden's just gonna be doing this all the time, just
Mhm.
stabbing people with his wrist blade.
Yeah, just to get a little bit of the, I guess, style of speech, sort of phrases used, and
Mhm.
because they spoke different back then. Words had different meanings. There's different expressions, especially among sailors.
Yeah.
So, and I
Thank
know
you.
it's like Assassin's Creed. Say what you will about like how accurate they are. I feel like they do a fairly decent job of researching
Mhm.
time period stuff. Sure, I could watch a documentary, but
I
I don't
wish I
know.
could get into podcasts like some of you all. I can't. I can listen to books. Podcasts just aren't really my thing. I don't know why. Maybe I haven't found the right one. Maybe this is the right one that we're doing right now, and
And
I
we're
can't
doing it.
enjoy it because I'm in it, and it just ruins it for me.
The ones I listen to are it's not really like us talking about things. It's more like presentation, educational type
Yeah.
style. It's not just like a bunch of knowledge junkies want to just excited to talk about what their passion is. It's just like it's a narrated by a guy, it's like a British dude, and then they cut to interviews with like people who are like study pirate life and all that stuff. So it's like
Hmm.
very,
Like
very
watching a
educational.
TV program, except
Yeah.
with no,
Like
not the
National
visual.
Geographics, but for your ears.
Like what the History Channel used to be.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zeus. So British warships would go into Carolina Station during the 18th century to do the entire creating process that might be completed in as little as 9 or 10 days during an emergency situation. Usually consumed 2 to 4 weeks of labor. That's perfect because, I mean, no secret in this campaign, really, super early on, but like, I mean, that ship y'all got, you don't know the last time they went in for maintenance. And you've had it for 2 months.
It's true.
You could easily
need-
make
We
it
need
like a
Emmy
2-week downtime.
to dip in the water and check out the hull of the ship, see what condition it's in.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do that. And I'll have to figure out how often that has to happen, but a
Say,
lot of great ideas.
ship of our size, you could easily probably say 2 weeks. It's not a big
Mhm.
ship, but it's also a ship.
Yeah, and then more downtime, like if things get damaged, right? Because depending on damage, like I mean, there's some stuff you can't repair while it's in the water, right? While you're just sailing. So
Yeah, if we lose our masts, we're sitting ducks.
yeah.
We're screwed.
So I mean, this is all ship related stuff, but I mean, you could think about other things for your like particular campaign. Just imagine like what stuff has to get done that needs your party members' attention, right? Based on their backstories or like what they're doing, that kind of stuff.
I think we might need to pay Oshamaran a visit
I
at
agree.
some
I
point.
agree.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of carousing we need to do too, because we had this plan of spreading rumors on how amazing and
Yeah.
powerful the unfortunate crew is.
Yeah.
Get the word out on the open seas that we're a bunch of badasses and you should hire us.
I mean, and what's really interesting is and I'm not trying to give too many like spoiler stuff because this isn't the spoiler show for the main campaign, but you all talked about wanting to like schmooze and rub elbows with like the upper echelon and stuff like that. Like carousing, it literally says you can spend 250 gold pieces for a week and gain access to like local quote unquote nobility. And you could make contacts based on your roles. It could be like a number of contacts. It could be like hostile. Maybe they could be like an ally. Maybe just meet some people. Like all kinds of stuff. And you all mentioned like sowing rumors and stuff. Like that's right in the I think it's in the DMG, or yeah, there's sowing rumors is in the DMG, one that wasn't revisited in Xanathar's, but like that's easily available to do that too.
We could do crime.
Yeah,
Like
why
one
not?
of them in the Xanathar's guide. Just straight
Yeah.
up do crime.
I think the aspect of carousing that looks the most interesting to me is the potential like negative
Oh yeah.
effects from carousing, because like the complication section of that, there's some interesting. And it's separated by like, are you doing this with poorer folks or middle class or like hoity-toity types? And there's different things that can go wrong depending on which group you're carousing with. It's
Mhm.
kind of, there's some fun stuff in there.
And one thing that's interesting too is, and it kind of gets overlooked. There was a little bit of this in the first campaign, and I kind of fudged some of the stuff to kind of speed it up. But like the training aspect, like learn a tool or learn a language. Like how many times in the first campaign were you just like out SOL because like I don't know, I can't read this, or I don't know what language you're speaking,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's right there in front of you if you just want to spend some time and learn it. Now that usually takes 10 weeks to do, but I mean, time's a construct, right?
Takes 10 weeks to learn a language. That's not bad.
Yeah, you must have some kind of like D&D version of like, what is it? Babel is the hot one now.
Yeah.
But you literally hire a teacher is what it is in training in Xanathar's, right? But like that's a great idea for downtime, or I think that's interesting. And there's also fun complications and stuff there too. But yeah, if nothing's pressing, like for me, like putting my like player cap on, the most interesting thing to like for me would be like, okay, like let's have a base, like let's have a stronghold, let's have something for our, do we have like a guild hall, do we have like if I'm a wizard, do I start building my own tower and making like an adventure compound with the rest of them, kind of like one D&D stuff? That kind of stuff interests me.
I I think that would be pretty cool. We found a deserted island that had enough landscape where we can, like our boss base of operations, we drop off a bunch of stuff, resupply. We don't have to go into towns, especially at the rate we're burning bridges. So
We need a space. We need a space for Cooter to have her own workshop,
Yeah.
like
so
I
she can
mean,
make us cool stuff,
our version of the Galapagos. And if you watch Master and Commander, where uh
yeah.
he's
Paul, is
like,
it
"Oh, I'm
Paul
gonna
Bettany?
finally study these lizards." Yeah, Will Benny, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, this is ship rafter. We gotta go." And he's like, "Damn it!" That's Cooter. Like, damn it.
Yeah, I don't remember what Paul Bettany's character was in that, but I think that was his. He was wanting to go study the iguanas and
Yeah,
stuff.
he
I
wanted to beat Darwin.
Yeah.
I think to kind of like what we're looking for as players, like again, it depends on like what type of campaign you're in, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think, do the players even care about downtime? Because
Yes.
I think we could play an entire
Yep.
campaign and like I know for sure maybe one or two players just don't care too much about like side stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
so maybe that's part of the reason why we don't explore it as much is because we can kind of not and be
Yeah.
okay with it. But I can see some tables in some campaigns being like really wanting to flesh out like what is your character doing when you're not exploring dungeons and fighting dragons.
Yeah. Nice. Working that in there. Dungeons and Dragons. I
Yeah,
see what you did there.
Well,
exploring dragons and
he did the
fighting
thing.
dungeons.
Yeah.
Yes, did the thing. Uh,
You said
no,
it. You said it.
one of my
Leonardo.
Mhm.
one of my other groups, we had we were founding like a village. It was just like it was our villa, and then we were expanding outwards. So like my character grew an olive farm, so he could make his
Mm.
own olive oil for wrestling. Just like, but then like
Hey,
cool, but cool
Amazing.
little stories came into that. Like, what's it like owning an olive farm and bunch of weird stuff that goes with it. Just like cool little side stories that are not really affecting the main storyline, but just like fun little tidbits.
hey, yeah. Maybe if we get rich enough as pirates, like Hayden can build his own like little distillery slash brewery where they make their own beer and rum and
Yeah. I mean, those are all viable things. I will say though, is if you have some kind of like grand scheme for downtime, like talk to your DM. Don't like spring it on him. Cause if we show up Friday, and moves is like, we're building a stronghold today. I would like a little bit of a heads up so I can get an idea of like, what are you interested in? How do you want to like do this type of stuff? Like,
I just want to see you delete your digital notes because your virtual version of ripping up your notes for the day. Are like, we are doing this today.
I just do like a screen punch where my OneNote sits, just like, I don't need that anymore. No. I mean, yeah,
Well,
I know I say this all the times. I just create the sandbox, and you all choose how you want to play in it, which I think is
how
the
long
healthiest take.
how long would it take to learn a skill or a trade like
10 weeks.
so it would take because Hayden and Azric are the only ones who can pilot a ship. Like say
Yeah.
Emmy wanted to learn how to pilot a ship, so that would take 10 weeks of us training her how to do so.
Yeah, and you could train her, if you wanted to do that, and that would keep you from having to hire somebody, or you could hire someone, send her to to officer school, send her to captain school, I don't know, whatever. Sailor camp.
Seafaring
it's
school.
like space camp, but for D&D. But yeah, you could, that's something like that would take that amount of time.
yeah, she has to spend a summer sailing little dinghies in like a lake or something.
I will say too is that one thing that's in what's cool for these little tidbits of like in Xanathars is like it's normally like 10 work weeks, but it's reduced by a work week based on your intelligence modifier. So if you're super smart, let's say that you're a wizard with 18 intelligence, it's only gonna take you 6 weeks to learn something instead of 10, which is
Oh,
cool.
That'd be cool if like feats also helped with that in some way. Like if you as another sort of reward for choosing a feat over a stat increase, like say keen mind, like Cooter
Hmm.
has, if that also factored into like reduced time for something, because you're literally your note taking proficiency would be through the roof and studying would be
Hmm.
easy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like that's always something. It's like most important thing is and we we have just drilled this hopefully into your heads. It's like most important thing. Have your session 0. Tell your DM what you want to do. If your goal as a party is to build your own badass castle and live in it and have like a base of operations, probably let them know ahead of time. Um, but like just communicate with your DM like what you want your campaign to look like, right?
Yeah. Let's see. We've talked about potential side story stuff,
Yeah.
like downtime for carousing, building a stronghold. What about crafting specific items? Because from what I'm seeing, if you were a character that was interested in creating like magical items, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm assuming this is at the DM's discretion, but like what they provide in the books seems like kind of crazy. Like if you want to craft a legendary item, for example, it's 50 work weeks and costs 100,000 gold.
Well, I mean, you jump right to legendary,
I
right?
know,
yeah.
Like,
but
I
it's
mean,
big. That's
you
because
jump
it's
right to
big
legendary. What do you
numbies.
expect? That's the
Yeah,
kind of stuff that a wizard locks himself in their tower and like is their life's work, right?
yeah. I
Because
just
there's
saw the big numbies. That's it.
yeah. Because there's some things too, like crafting like magic items and stuff like that. I mean, maybe it involves like research too, like depending on what they want to make, right? And I've taken some liberties this campaign now for like trying to like craft a scroll, a magical scroll, like having them get
Mhm.
ingredients and stuff like that. It could be like you could look into having them research stuff. Like, okay, let's say that your character wants like a +2 sort of badassdom, right? Well, do they know how to make a sort of badassdom? Like maybe they need to spend some time researching and getting blueprints to figure out like how easy it is for them to make it, and then go with like what you were saying, VS, like the crafting stuff. Maybe it opens up new like things for the campaign of like stuff they have to get. I mean, I took a page from the book literally for this campaign where like you needed a thing and it's spun out into all kinds of crazy shit if you think about it. Just trying to
Yeah.
figure out like what you need to get for a scroll and knock. Uh so
Well,
That's
yeah, that's
been
the thing.
crazy.
Like given the setting, and how people feel about magic, like
yeah.
if you're setting out to craft a powerful magical item, it's gonna be like good luck, man. Good luck with that one because you're gonna have to find the right people, the right items, and it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna bring this up. Village beat me to the punch, but like you don't have to act out downtime. It could just be a series of rolls,
Mhm.
especially if you're pressed for time or because you're worried about other players getting bored or whatever. You can just distill down to rolls and failures and successes, and the thing happens. But nothing stops you from doing downtime off outside your group. Like you can just chat with your DM and like, hey, can we do this quick thing? And then have like a little moment offline or off group. And those little moments can happen. And then when the group gets together, like each person can update the party if they want to, like what happened during their downtime.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I think it'd be great. I like the idea of, I don't want to call it like forced downtime, but like structured downtime where like everyone knows it's coming. Everyone can get an idea of what they want to do ahead of time without having to just be on the spot kind of thing. But like the idea of like 7 months of winter, or like your ship needs to like get repairs, or like your character owns a tavern and they got to go back, for, a couple weeks to make sure that things are still running, that kind of stuff could be really interesting.
Your tavern needs help.
Your village is under attack. But yeah, I like the little tidbits that can come out from just like backstory type stuff, especially if like your downtime activities are related to your character's backstory. Lots of juicy opportunities there for sure. And don't be afraid to have like little mini sessions. I mean, campaign 1, I mean, we did it like extracurricular outside of the campaign, but we recorded it. Like me and you, Moobs, we had a one-on-one session that had a lot of juicy lore and stuff in it.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Like, we can definitely do those one-on-one stories if everyone has the bandwidth and we record it just straight to the tubes.
Yeah, and then or like, we did the one-off like with you and VS, the buddy cop adventure.
Oh yeah, that's right. We blew up a ship. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that.
Like, how could you forget? I watched so many buddy cop movies before that.
Tom Cruise and Braun. Yes.
Listen, I'm old and tired.
Tell me about it, man.
I forget stuff.
Tell me about it. But yeah, love that idea, Zeus. Apply some of the negatives of downtime to players. Like maybe someone's backstory is they made a bunch of enemies. So give them some downtime negatives that have rivals or adversaries.
I mean, out of all the stuff that they have in the books, I love the ideas for complications. I think there's some really fun stuff. And of course, again, like the DM can also spice that up and tailor it to like your current campaign, which is even cooler. Like especially, I mean, without talking too much about what's in our campaign right now, because you all should watch and listen.
Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah. There's enormous potential for complications to arise given how shady our characters are.
All y'all are shady. Every single one of you.
Except for Cooter. He's a gem.
I will say, like, in talking about adversaries and things that can come up too, like, I mean, Cooter has an adversary that you all have seen in the game.
He does.
Rival.
I mean, there are potential for like, Azaric and Taj, like they've got adversaries. They've pissed off some people that they haven't necessarily run into.
Oh yeah.
And those are all kind of out in public in the game, but lots of interesting stuff. Lots of interesting stuff. But I don't know, let us know, like, how do your groups handle downtime? Like, what's fun for you as a player? Like, do you like downtime? Do you like not care for it? I'm interested to hear about what everyone else's groups, or if you're the DM, how you handle that kind of stuff, because I mean, I pretty much think that all D&D is everyone figures out their own way to do things based on like games that they've played in, people they've talked to, and you eventually find your little niche of how you want to play. But
yeah, even share the awesome stories that came from downtime. Maybe that'll inspire us as a group to like, okay, let's actually try for downtime.
I was gonna say, like, tell us, like, did you and your party make something incredible together? Did you do something outlandish individually? I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, throw it in the comments. Join our discord.gg/caches and cantrips. Tell us all about like how you do downtime activities, because like I am definitely not the end all be all of DMs. Like, certainly not. I'm always looking for better ways to do stuff and to learn from people. So But with that being said, I hope this was helpful. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I got some great ideas from it, just talking about it as
Mhm.
it from a DM perspective.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of motivated now to do downtime stuff. Like before, I
Yeah.
was like, meh. Now I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And I think that for sure, like, at some point we'll introduce like some structured downtime ahead of time and see how the group likes
Mhm.
that and see like what goals they want to do that aren't necessarily related to everyone. But give us your ideas, let us know what you think, and we will see you all next time. Make sure to tune in. We've got Bun Bun Art streams on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific. Those are on YouTube as well as Twitch. We've got our Thursdays podcast and YouTube only exclusives for our Out of Combat, the show after the show. So if you're like, man, I wish you had more spoilers in this show, wrong show. Go watch that one. You can have all of them. And you can even submit questions to us for stuff that you may want to know. And of course,
That's right.
Fridays, 6 p.m., live streamed. Go watch the campaign. Or you know what? If you can't, check out our Patreon. You can get access to all of it early. When I mean early, I mean literally as soon as the editing's done. So Sundays, it's all there. So that's it. Caches and Cantrips on Patreon as well. So with that being said, thanks for the chat, gents. Thanks for the chat. And we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.